So today we're going to do a load of laundry while parked in front of the Gulf of Mexico. Camping.
Camping 101?
In a casino RV parking lot. Sorry for the wind, folks. My other camera, the battery was low and I just went to use it. So we're stuck with this one. So Christina's going to show us how this little, what's the name of the company?
Costway?
Costway. Here's the back of it. Give you the stats on the little thing. Of course it's made in China. Everything's made in China.
So we got this 2 years ago for, well, 2 years a year this past Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking we were going to be in a place last year where we weren't going to have washing machines at the campground. So we got this as a Christmas gift from our son and daughter-in-law and never used it because we ended up going to a campground where there was washers and dryers. So we carried it a whole season and then we packed it again and we decided it's time to use it. So
we had to do laundry, so.
Yep, and that's what it's for. So my darling husband hooked.
Had to MacGyver this.
Yeah, he's
with a water bandit hooked up.
But ultimately, we now know
short
that
piece
you
of
don't
hose.
have to do this. You could just use the hose and fill it, because you don't really you don't have to have it hooked up. But
you could do it in the shower using your shower. Just fill it with that. It'd be the easiest thing.
I gotta turn this to normal.
So we're using a short piece of hose. It just unhooked.
Oh.
You might as well just hook it direct. Show them.
Yeah. I don't know if this is long enough.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you can just put it directly in there. If you have it hooked to this really chintzy hose that they give you, it just comes out right here.
Yeah, so it's not much.
Your drain isn't open, is it? No?
No.
So what do you fill it up about halfway?
Yeah, so they give you instructions. The instructions, in my opinion, are a little confusing, so we watched a few videos. And basically you fill it up halfway with water. And you can use, you're not supposed to use water over 50 degrees. I'm just using cold water. I've always washed with cold water, so it's not a big deal to me. So we'll fill it up halfway. And then you need to add your laundry detergent. So that seems to me, to be the part that you really have to figure out.
Because you're doing a smaller load, you're going to use a little less.
So you want to make sure you have enough, but not too much. Because if you have too much, then you have to rinse it multiple times. Which, I think 2 times you're probably going to have to rinse it anyways. But.
Okay. We'll wait till you get to that part.
Yeah. So up here, you want to make sure that your middle knob is on, these are really dirty, I do apologize, but the middle knob is on normal. If you put it on drain, it's going to drain all the water, and soft just means it's going to be a softer agitator. So I'm going to keep it on normal. And then I have my lovely Arm & Hammer here. And I'm going to use...
How much do you usually use at home in a large capacity?
A whole, like, whatever.
Okay.
Basically this.
Mm-hmm.
Actually a little bit less than this because it on the washing machine. So I'm just
put
going to
it directly in.
Rinse the top off.
So about a quarter of it?
Yeah, a little bit less than a quarter.
Okay.
We'll see.
So we're still trying to get used to this part.
So we just did a batch just to try it out, and we did a small batch. So we're going to put a little bit more cloves in it this time.
So we're getting used to that part too.
It may be too much, it may not be. I don't know. So I have a dish rag, a shirt, a pair of jeans, a dish towel, and 2 more shirts. Let's see how that goes. If it's too much, then I'll just take some out.
It still doesn't look overwhelmed with that.
No, I don't think we want it overwhelmed. So
okay.
I'm going to turn it to 6 minutes. And if we look in here,
so we can open this and it stays going.
It goes back and forth.
So you'll see it goes one way. Yep. I'd say it's a better agitator than me. What do you think about that?
There's no such thing.
Hook up your drain. Show them what you did for a drain. So now if it's in your shower or your tub, your camper, you can just let it go out on the floor.
Yeah.
That's got this drain pipe. Since we opted to do it outside, Christina just ran it into our regular sewer hose. See, we're on the opposite side because we drove into this site. All of our hookups are on
the beautiful ocean rather than
on the opposite side of our rig. So what we did is we just plugged in our power, we ran it underneath, and we filled up our freshwater tank before we parked, and we didn't even bother hooking our water up. So you're gonna let that go for 6 minutes. You can see it just automatically times down, and then we'll show you what happens. So I did want to show you how dirty that water is. You don't think your clothes are very dirty, but that water's really dirty coming out. So after 6 minutes.
Okay, so 6 minutes, and it timed down right down to 0.
Yep.
So what you do is you take and you turn this to drain. And then I've already done this. I forgot we were filming this. So
it just drains. It's just gravity
Yeah, as
drain.
you can see, the drain. It's draining into the sewer pipe, and then it's going into the sewer.
You can kind of see it through that pipe right there.
So you just want to let it drain. Things are pretty wet. And they're pretty saturated.
So now you have to rinse it.
Yep, so now I'm going to rinse it.
Okay.
So, put it back on normal. And add more water.
Now remember, if you want to use this thing, it'll just come out down here, but I think this is better anyway, because you're actually putting the water right on the clothes instead of just in the back kind of dribbling down. So again, you filled up about halfway. Would you say you have to go over the top of the clothes, or it doesn't really matter?
I don't know. I don't know that it matters, because when it agitates it flings water all around them.
Yeah. So it looks like this time, because you used a lot less soap, that draining it, you had to drain it or rinse it twice last time to get all the soap out of it. So that kind of told you that maybe you used a little bit too much soap.
Yep. So
it's probably going to be about halfway again, the water level.
And always make sure before you fill it that you put it back either on soft or normal, otherwise it's just going to drain out. So I'm only going to do it on 3 this time.
Okay.
Because it's just to spin it to rinse it.
So we can show people. And even doing this, your water will look like it's kind of dirty. That's getting all that soap out of there.
So, I rinsed it once and it looked pretty good. So inside the dryer, or the spinner, is this plastic thing. So take that out and you put your clothes in there. Now this is a much smaller compartment, so you may have to just put some of it in.
This is probably what's going to limit you on how big your loads are.
Well, you could just do like 3 at a time, 3 if it's bigger pieces. Like these are bigger pieces, so.
This is not a real technical piece of equipment, this thing.
So I'm just going to do that. I don't want to put too much in there. And then you have to have this closed in order for it to work. So if you turn your spinner on, it does kind of start spinning.
It spins.
Then it kind of
pretty fast.
Kind of mellows out a little bit. You can see the water.
And it throws a lot of water out at first.
Yep.
And then you'll be able to tell when the water's out of it, because the water just goes down to a trickle and then no water at all.
Yep.
So it's really spinning that. And when they come out of there, they're pretty close to dry.
Yeah, they're not pretty close to dry, but they're going to dry.
They're
pretty
well
quickly.
on their way.
Yeah. It does a good job of taking a lot of the water out. Take it out just to put it level. See, it's still a lot of water coming.
So that's,
wow, that was a good
that part does have to be lower. So if you do it in the shower, it won't be a problem.
Yeah.
Or you could build the machine up so that it could go lower.
Yeah.
But it's still putting a little bit of water out.
Yeah. That's the problem with this one.
Do you think you'd use it in the shower?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, it fits in the shower.
And you could just use the water supply from the shower.
I mean, it's nice to be able to sit out in the sunshine and just do this while you're right here. But if it's not nice out, then I definitely would try it.
So what'd you set it for? 3 minutes?
That time 2. So let's just see what it feels like.
Okay.
Wait till it stops. It stops when you
So that
open
definitely does stop it.
it. Yep.
And we couldn't figure out what this thing was for, but I think it just so the clothes don't try to fly out of there.
But feel that. That's pretty good.
Pretty close. Like a garment like that, it wouldn't take long out here for that to dry. Jeans, it would take a while,
This,
but
because it's polyester, is just going to dry super fast.
yeah.
So that's something I guess maybe to think about too. Like if you are...
Now there's a pair of jeans takes up almost half the thing.
Yep, and 2 towels.
But
I'm going to put this back on.
in about 2 minutes, they'll be...
Now the question that I had is, can you run the dryer and the washer? Or the
I
dryer,
really don't
the
see
spinner
how you
and the
could,
washer?
but we could try that next.
I'm gonna
That's
do
a good
this
question.
first.
Maybe we can answer that question for people. Like an airplane taking off. So did you decide you're going to try to use the washer and the dryer part at the same time? I bet they will. We'll see. Put your water back in. So we thought we'd mention we were sitting there waiting for this next batch to fill up, and it seemed like it was taking an awful long time. I wasn't seeing the water accumulating. You got to make sure you take this off of drain.
Because it was draining right out. We're like,
Yeah.
what is it?
So then we had to put the soap back in again. So it's almost ready.
That got done. But
So that's done, but we'll start that back up, which is very easy. You just turn it for another minute. It'll be extra dry. And here's the moment of truth to see if this will work. And it does.
How about that?
So that saved you a little time. There it goes.
This time I put like socks, underwear. There's a shower mat in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of smaller stuff. So we'll see. The red t-shirt that I just sprayed doesn't go all over.
So even a pair of jeans. Parts of these jeans don't even feel like they're wet. Wow, that's
amazing.
That takes a lot of water out of that.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll bet you that you would have that out here for what, 10, 15 minutes in this breeze, and you'd have
Be dry.
probably dry jeans. Jeans take a long time to dry normally.
I'm gonna go put these on the rack.
So because it's so windy, we have a little metal clothes rack that we bring with us, but
I don't want my clothes all over the camera.
all over the beach in the Gulf of Mexico.